Hello there, and welcome to episode 1 of Lock and Trail. I am Andrea Lloyd, and to start things off, let's talk about a couple of housekeeping items. First off, many of you might be wondering what the meaning of Lock and Trail is. Those of you who've been around basketball probably already know. Many of you are overachievers, like my husband, because he looked it up. But for those of you that don't know the explanation, Lock and Trail is a defensive technique that you use when you're guarding someone coming off of a screen or an off-ball screen. You lock that offensive player into only having one option, using the screen, and then you trail them closely off the screen. So I thought I'd use that sort of to name these broadcasts so we can lock and trail on somebody. And today we'll lock and trail on Vic Schaefer, the new head coach for Texas. Couple of other things. Today's live stream is only available to the Women's Basketball Ambassador Club. This is just our opportunity, hopefully, to be able to have a question and answer session that we'd like to do in person, but because of the pandemic, we're forced to be virtual like everybody else, right? As a reminder, if you're on the Ambassador Club Facebook page and watching, this is an interactive live stream. So if you have a question for the guests or guests, because there's a couple surprise guests, just type your question into the comment box below the video. So right below this video in the Facebook comment box of the live stream, and I will see it and be able to add the questions. So without further ado, here's what I'm going to do. Because Vic is a little bit late and isn't able to join us yet, I actually have a special guest that I'm going to bring on right now, and that is somebody that needs no introduction, Jody Conrad. Hey, Coach, how are you? Oh, I think I have you on mute. See, there you go. Let's try this again. How are you?
I'm still good. How are you today?
Good. Well, we were excited to be able to get Vic on this broadcast today, and I know his daughter Blair is looking frantically for him. Apparently, he was down they're still in Mississippi, and he's down at the barn doing something, and she's been calling him, but he won't answer. So he hasn't gotten to the Facebook Live feed yet. So, Coach, what have you been up to? Tell us a little bit about how this is going for you and what you've been doing at Texas during this shutdown.
Well, I think I'm just like everyone else, trying to stay in and be safe. And I really have not been out. Everything in athletics is being done remotely. I've been on a few Zoom calls, but for the most part, just staying home. Love HEB and their delivery through Favor. I have gone out and played golf a few times. I think that's one of the few outdoor activities that are relatively safe. You have to adjust to the new rules. One person to a cart, don't touch the flag stick, and there are no rakes in the traps. So that's all good. But otherwise, just trying to see when things can get back to a more normal state. And for all of us that love and are involved in athletics, it is a huge challenge to try to figure out when things are going to start to be more normal. Everybody that follows athletics at all knows that football is huge. Football must take place for any other sports, really, to have an opportunity to have anything that looks like a normal season. Because there's no denying that football is the financial driver for all sports. We saw in the spring when the men's basketball tournament didn't happen, the loss of revenue by every program in the country had a tremendous impact. And right now, Texas is in pretty good shape because our financial year doesn't end until the end of August, but it certainly has many pitfalls and uncertainty about what's going to happen when the fall rolls around.
Yeah. So I think we may have Coach Schaefer here now, so I'm going to add him in. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Hey, how y'all doing?
I heard you were down at the barn.
I was.
You know what I'm going to say about that, Andrea? He's going to have to run sprints for being late.
Oh, my God.
Hey, and I'll do it for Coach Conrad. I wouldn't do it for anybody else, but I'd do it for her.
You know, Vic, one time Coach Conrad had, we were playing first team against second team, our national championship year, and our first team lost to our second team by 26 points, and she made us run 26 suicides after practice. It was
Wow.
fun. Yeah,
I'm
it was.
pretty sure I wouldn't be able to get away with that today.
Things have changed. There's no question about it, Vic.
So, Coach Schaefer, I just, I asked Coach Conrad to come on today, just simply to talk a little bit about uh, um, just you coming into the program now and the changes, but also just to also welcome you officially, I think, on behalf of the Ambassador Club, which we'll tell you a little bit more about here as the broadcast goes on. But Coach, did you have anything you want to talk about with regard to Vic and his coming on board, and just anything the ambassadors should know?
I am very excited. I think this is going to be a great hire for the University of Texas. We all know what kind of teams that Vic puts on the floor. But the other part of it is, if anybody looked at the kind of attendance that his teams were able to generate at Mississippi State, then I think it's going to be a revitalization of our fan base. I'm looking forward to getting into a new arena pretty soon. And the excitement of a new hire, a new team, a new start, all of that makes me extremely excited, and can't wait for it to all to unfold.
Coach Schaefer, I know we're all really excited to have you on board here. And I know that for me, obviously I played during the days when Coach Conrad was coaching, and played a similar style of defensive basketball that I think you're going to be coaching these athletes on here. So I'm excited about having a new style of basketball. Tell us what you're excited about here coming into Austin and with this team.
Well, again, I'm humbled and honored to have the opportunity to be the head coach at the University of Texas. Andre, if I remember right, your teams, and I told Coach Conrad this when I saw her back in early April, everybody had to wear knee pads on your team. And that was an indication of how hard you guys played, the style that you played. And, that's how we want to play. Harder to get kids today to wear knee pads, but it was more of out of a necessity, I think, back in your day. And again, for us, that's the style of play we want to play. Coach mentioned our attendance. I give our kids all the credit because people come to see our kids play because of how they play, how they honor the game, how they respect the game, how hard they play. People sit in the stands, whether it's an older generation or a younger generation with a young daughter or a young son, and they go, "Hey, I want you to play like those kids play. I want you to be tough, physical, and aggressive, and play like they play." And so that's the challenge that we have, and that's the charge that we have, really. And not only are we going to be that way defensively, but we're going to put pressure on you on offense. I'm really proud of what we've done over the last 3 or 4 years offensively, and how we've been really tops in the country, top 5, top 10. I think we finished second by a half of a point 2 years ago offensively. So I just think it's exciting. It's fun to watch. And I'm certainly really excited about the opportunity to do that in a city like Austin, with not just Longhorn fans, but basketball fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's the excitement that you have, the brand of Texas, and all that entails. And then for me, the challenge and the charge of bringing back the lore and the history that you and your teams helped create. We got to get back to that. And I'm just really excited about being able to grab my cup of coffee in the morning and go walk down the hall and say, "Hey, Coach, what'd you think about last night?" And because I just, I have so much respect for Coach and everything that she's done in her career. To me, what an opportunity to be able to walk down the hall and just talk the game. I mean, I wouldn't be very smart if I didn't use that sounding board and that opportunity because I just think you've got someone there that's really seen it all, been a part of it all. And so, there might be days she go, "Hey, Vic, I don't want to talk about that." And you know what? I'll be okay. But, I just think it's a great opportunity and really a great resource. I mean, think about it. And so, I watched that game the other night with Rutgers, and I know Coach ripping her heart out again, over that one. But then she got what I'm after in '86. She got it. I've been on the short end twice in that last game. I want to be like Coach. I want to get it. I want that last one. And so that's our challenge. But man, what a better place to do it than the University of Texas.
Coach Schaefer, you talked about the fans and how important they are. And I know when Coach Conrad and when I was playing for Coach, we would average 9,000 to 10,000 fans at the same time. A lot of those fans are still around. This broadcast is on our Facebook page, where we have about 100 people that are what's called ambassadors for the Texas Women's Basketball Club. And they're season ticket holders. There's season ticket holders, right? That there's thousands of them, and then there's season ticket holders. And these are the ones that a lot of them were around during the 1980s and saw those teams and have stuck around and have been part of helping promote and support the team, the staff, as individuals, I think, throughout the years. And so I also wanted to bring on a couple of people that will be joining us, right? And I'm going to bring them on screen right now. Two of those people, Tony and Jane Rose, who are super fans, and they're also just super, super human beings. I mean, you go on a road trip, whatever team you may be a part of, and you're going to see them in the stands following you. And I think they wanted to just welcome you and also tell you a little bit about the ambassadors and their history. Let me unmute them. Boy, I'm an amateur.
There we go.
That helps. Andrea's getting the hang of this thing. Well, welcome, Coach Vic, and hello to Coach Conrad. And before we go much further, I know several people on the feed have been saying an early happy birthday to Coach Conrad. So I wanted to make sure to get that out there. We're very happy to be here. As Andrea introduced us, we have been around for a while. We've been season ticket holders, not just for women's basketball, for several other sports, and we do travel extensively with that. We're happy to do it too. We really enjoy Longhorn sports. It's what we do. That was the retirement plan, and now that we've hit that, it's full time. So this whole stop and travel right now is killing us. Go ahead. It looks like my husband had something to say too.
Ahead.
No, so he can talk too, though. As far as introducing you and to the ambassadors group, we are, like Andrea put it, fans who've been around for a while, who've been active in the stands, not just at home, but also away, and very happy to do it. But part of what, hey, look at that. Part of what we do is to try to go out to the public as well, our friends through social media, through any organizations we're a part of, and help promote the games and help promote the team. And as much as we can, be good ambassadors for the sport and for our teams to say, come on out and see. If you've never been before, come see what it is. It's a very special thing. We want to make it more so. But we also have a social component too. And occasionally we're able to get together for the folks who stay at home. There's been watch parties that have been set up at one of the local pubs, and that's been a lot of fun. We actually got to do one of those this year rather than being at a game. There's Ricka popping up with a hello from Maine. Hi, Ricka. We're just trying to do what we can to get the word out, keep it going, and do more. And I think part of some of the questions you may see from people who come up is, how can we do more? Do you see a group like this being useful to you in the future? And what can we do to make it more so? And we can tell you more details on that too. But basically, that's the welcome from all the ambassadors. And just to show you, if I can get it in the screen here, I have to go this direction.
Oh, wait.
Your basketball shirt.
Here
You
you go.
got it there. There you are. Ta-da.
Hey, outstanding.
This was our shirt from last year for the ambassadors. And one thing we found is a dearth of burnt orange Longhorn clothing specifically to Texas women's basketball. So one of our own members created this last year, and we actually got to ask the University Co-op to help. And Tony's got that one on for women's basketball. It may not be as pretty as we'd like, but anything we can do to get the word out that's visual and people go, what can we do and how can we make it better? We're here for that. So any questions you might have for us as well, please let us know what we can do.
Well, thank you, Tony and Jane. I really appreciate y'all coming on today. part of building a program is not just the X's and O's and the wins and losses. It's your fan base. And it's people traveling with you, going to conference tournaments, planning vacations around that conference tournament, going to the NCAA tournament, taking over an arena like my previous school when we went to both Final Fours. I just think that's part of what we do in building a program. And to the point, it doesn't matter who we play. You're coming to see the University of Texas play. You're not coming to see, well, it's a big game because we got Notre Dame coming to town or Connecticut or whoever. It doesn't matter who we're playing. You're coming to see your team play, your girls play. And that's what we've been able to create where we've been, is that it didn't matter if we were playing a University of or a 3-name directional school. People came. We still had 7,000, 8,000 at the game. And that's what you want. That's what we're doing. You want to build that fan base where they're coming to support the girls and support the team, no matter who you're playing. And so for us, again, we're going to do our part. I promise you, you're going to be proud of our team. You're going to be proud of the product that we put on the floor. And that's our challenge, is to restore some of that pride and that Coach obviously created so well in her time as the coach. And so, look, we've got big shoes to fill. We understand that. We embrace that, and we're excited about the opportunity. And again, just knowing that we have people out there that are in the grocery stores, in the marketplace, and wherever they are, talking about women's basketball. That's the biggest thing that you can have, in my mind. In the coffee shops the next morning, wherever you are, on Facebook, just talking about our team and our game, because it is a great game. I will have a tremendous staff for you to be so proud of. They're going to be great role models in our community. They're going to be great mentors for our young ladies. And again, I think that's really important and part of what we're doing in the game of women's basketball. Again, Texas historically, I'm talking about in the history of women's college basketball, has been such a big part of that. And there were only a handful of teams back in, let's just go back to the 90s. There were only a handful of teams that were really committed, number one, administrations that were committed, but number two, that had coaches that were really good at what they did. And year in and year out, they were in the mix and in the talk for the national championship. And Texas was one of those. And so, again, that's our challenge. We've got to get back to there. Big difference between top 25 teams and top 10 programs. They didn't hire me to bring you a top 25 team. They hired me to bring you a top 10 program. And that's what we've been able to do where we were. And that's our challenge to do where we are at the University of Texas. We're all about winning championships. So that's our challenge. And again, I don't care when people get on the bandwagon. It's always open. It's always got seats. And we want it full. So really appreciate you and this group. I look forward to meeting with this group in person anytime, anywhere, and just having that opportunity. And again, your ownership and your commitment to women's basketball at the University of Texas is evident by getting on here at 4:00 in the afternoon on Monday.
Hey, Coach Schaefer, Coach Conrad and I were talking earlier about your assistant coaches and your coaching staff as a whole. And I know maybe Coach Conrad can address this first, but just how important that was. We know that you bring a great product and you're a great coach, but a lot of that has to do with the staff that you've put together. And I think we were all hopeful that you were going to be bringing them with you.
Me too. They're critical. They're so critical to our success. And I'm just telling y'all, we've got the A team. They're the best in the business. I'm smart enough to know I can't do it by myself. And every one of them, when they're given their opportunity, and they will get their opportunity, they're going to be great head coaches. But each of them brings so much to the table Some of them cross over, some of them don't, but they're just so vital to our success, and they're going to be great. They're going to be great for the University of Texas, and they're going to be great for our student athletes. And that's, again, what I have a real appreciation for, and you guys are going to really love about them. I mean, they're going to be awesome for all of us. And I'm telling you, they're the best in the business. They're the A team. And I've got a great mixture. You know, as CDC said, you know, he said, hey, I'm going to really I'm going to take a beating over you being from that school where you got your education from. And I told him, I said, well, hey, you can just tell those folks nobody knows the eyes of Texas better than I do. I've heard it plenty of times in a not so positive light from where I was sitting then. I'm going to get to hear it a bunch from a real good light where I'm fixing to sit. Coach Jackson, you know, played at Oklahoma, and we give her a hard time. And, you know, hey, I've seen a big change in her just through this whole process and how excited she is to be at the University of Texas. And it's been fun for me because she didn't give me a hard time, but I gave her plenty hard time about getting used to that. And again, I think you're getting people that are just excited about being there and excited and understand, look, this isn't just a program or a university. I mean, this is an entity in and of itself, the University of Texas. So much goes into that line, the University of Texas, and everything that entails. And we embrace the responsibility that comes with that. And again, are excited to be a part of that brand and that great university. And so we're ready to go. I wish we could get there. I wish we could work with our kids right now. I'm chomping at the bit. I am, but it's just we're going to have to kind of pull back right now on the reins until we can get the clearance.
Yeah. And Coach Conrad, just talk a little bit about the hiring process and the excitement behind getting the assistant coaches as well with Vic Schaefer.
Well, there's no question, and Vic is well aware of this. There was some discussion, and I've had to fill some questions about why did we not hire women. I think the answer is pretty clear cut. You'd go for the best person you can find that fits the environment which you're recruiting to. And yes, there are 3 or 4 really outstanding women that have been in the Final Four, but they were viewed to be unmovable. And when you really look at it, Vic had such a history in this state. He has a proven record of success. And he and I had a conversation early on about the importance of giving women the opportunity to advance in this field. And I don't think anybody's made a stronger statement about that than Vic has. Last count, he's bringing 7 people, and I believe all 7 of those are women. Several of them are minorities, and they're proven commodities to be able to be successful in this environment. So it's about building a team that you put on the floor, but Vic's done a great job of building a team of strong, capable women who support this program as well. And I think our fans are going to be extremely excited when they get a chance to know them individually, as I am. I don't know all of them, and I'm really anxious to get a chance to meet them personally. But unfortunately, the environment we're in right now is limiting in a lot of ways. But I know they're all looking forward to finding a place to live in Austin. And it's going to be a real reunion when we all can get face to face. And we're going to welcome Vic and that outstanding staff that he's bringing to Austin with open arms.
Thank you, Coach, for that. I appreciate that. And
you know how I feel, Vic. And
I know. And, you know, y'all, it was really important that I was able to have a conversation with Coach. I have so much respect for her. I have so much respect for Chris Plonsky. And, it was just really important to me that they were good with all of this. Again, I have a lot of respect for Coach and the utmost. And so I wanted to make sure this was something, because again, I'm excited about it. And I want everyone that is Texas to be excited about it. I don't want any reservations from anyone. And coach's support is really been crucial for me, critical for me, really. If I wouldn't have done it as much as I wanted to be there. It's really important that I have her support on this and her trust and confidence. That's it. It's the same in recruiting. You know, I say that all the time to parents. Their trust and their confidence, it does not go unappreciated. It doesn't go unnoticed. And it comes with a great value to me personally. And, I felt the same way about Coach and her feelings on this whole thing. So, my staff is going to be, y'all are going to love them, and they're going to be great, and they're going to do you a heck of a job at Texas. And they're all excited about wearing the burnt orange and being on the 40 acres, as I am. So two things. One, when my son was hurt, had three people that reached out every day while he was hurt. And y'all don't know the story, and there's not enough time right now. Just know that he was seriously injured. He was on life support for 4 days. This was 9 years ago. Intensive care for 11. Had to take him to TIR in Houston for 28 days. He went from can't walk, can't talk, can't hold a fork in his right hand, drooling out of the left side of his mouth, to he walks out of TIR like nothing happened to him. I mean, he's my walking, talking miracle. But one person that did reach out that I probably wasn't anticipating reaching out to me was Chris Plonsky. And it really resonated and stuck with me because I was at the other school at that time. And it just really resonated and stuck with me all these years. And I've just always had a real respect and admiration because of that. Again, wasn't necessary, wasn't expected, didn't have, but she did it. And so I really have always kept that in the back of my mind and appreciated that. And so I've already forgot about the other thing I wanted to say, but it was pretty good. But in any case, we're just, we're really excited about our opportunity, and I can't wait to get there. Again, it's as I told someone, this is what I was going to tell you. As I told someone the other day, and they are someone that's a dear friend, and they are at the other school. But I told them this. I said, in my industry, this is the best job in the country. And I am honored, humbled to have the opportunity to have that, to be able to be the head coach at the University of Texas. And man, I am excited and ready to go and ready to do my job and do my part. So that's what I got.
Let me add something there, Andrew. Talking about strong, confident, enthusiastic, passionate women. Vic has raised one of those in his family. Anybody that's had any contact or been around Blair at all, his daughter, who will be a part of the staff, not in a coaching role, but in some supportive role, she is something else. And I think we're going to really enjoy her involvement in the program. She was on the call today trying to run her dad down when he wasn't here on time. So that tells you everything you need to know.
There's that stick again, huh?
if he can raise a daughter like Blair, then he's doing something right. And he has the personality to be around a lot of young women that are on our squad.
Hey, she's going to be a great coach, y'all. She's going to get her opportunity sometime in the future, and she's going to be a great coach in this industry for many, many years to come. And she's getting the opportunity to learn what a lot of assistants don't get to learn. And to me, it's really going to put her in a position to be so successful down the line. So many assistant coaches, they get hired, they're recruiters first. They might get to coach a position 10 minutes a day, and then they sit on the bench and take stats. They don't get to do the other piece of community service, of academics, of housing, of any of that other stuff that when you become a head coach, you better know what you're doing there, or you're not going to make it. And so she's getting to do so much of the other stuff right now. she's going to get her opportunity to be that assistant coach. She knows the game so well. And she's going to get that opportunity at some point, and it won't be too long. I'm telling you, she'll have a chance to be a head coach, and she's going to be great. She's really going to be good, as all my assistants are. My entire staff, every one of them is going to really be good. So all those former players that I have that are on my staff now, trust me, you sit in that staff meeting, they don't mind telling me that I'm soft today and that I'm a whole lot different than when they played for me. So whenever I need the truth, I'll get it. Trust me, they don't mind telling me now.
I think our fans know, Vic, that the University of Texas has a nepotism rule. So that's the only obstacle for Blair being a coach on this staff. She has to have a different boss, but she can be in a supportive role. And I think you're right. I think you're going to not be able to hold on to her very long, because it doesn't take long in visiting with her to know that she wants to coach and she wants to have an impact on young people's lives.
No question.
Coach Schaefer, I'm going to change directions just a little bit here. So since there's ambassadors that are writing questions here, and I need to get some of these online for you, some of them are comments, some of them are questions, and some of them will be really in the weeds, because we get spoiled as, well, they get spoiled. I'm always spoiled, but they get spoiled as ambassadors, being able to do a lot of special things and be around the team and have special relationships with the coaching staff and get to know people pretty well. And you're going to get to know them well too. So we might as well start off right now. I'm going to throw up a question from Gary Tucker here, who you'll meet if you haven't met him already. And he said, when we get back to normal, will your practices be open to the fans?
Absolutely.
Attending
all my practices are open. Yeah. Glad to have anybody and everybody. They're always open. And, people are always welcome at our practices for sure.
Yeah. I have to throw Belinda up here, since we've been friends since I was playing in college. And she just says she's glad she's lived long enough to see this great new chapter. I know there's a lot of people excited to, gain some more momentum and have some excitement. Larry Westerberry, question from Larry, a fan since the mid-1980s. Coach, if the season had been played in an empty or reduced capacity venues, how will that affect the way you prepare your team?
Yeah, so it won't affect how I prepare my team one bit. We'll want to play and do things the way we do things. We have a saying, it's not what we do, but how we do it that separates us from the rest of the country. And so we won't play any differently. I'm just praying like heck that we can have, 10, 12,000 people at our games. It's so critical, that home court advantage. And I know you say, well, you go on the road, you don't have to deal with it. But I just think for the style of play that we play and how we play, I just think that's what's fun to watch. And it's not the same watching it on TV versus being in that arena. And so for us, I hope like heck we're going to get back to some type of normalcy where we can have an arena full of people screaming and hollering, making for a tremendous home court advantage. And again, that's how we've built our program. And again, game's over. We don't run to the locker room. We stand out there and visit with everybody. We hug mamas and kiss babies, or vice versa. We sign autographs, we take pictures with everybody, and it's usually 45, 50 minutes before we can get to the locker room after a win. And that's the way it should be. And I think that's how you develop a fan base that feels like that's their team. Those are their girls. They feel like, I called our teams here at Mississippi State the people's team, because they literally felt like that was their team. That was their girls. Because we were always accessible after every game. I mean, our girls signed the same autographs, took the same pictures after every game. The arena couldn't be emptied for an hour after most games. But if that's what it takes to have 10,000 a night, man, that's easy. So that's what we want.
Well, I actually have a question for you, Coach, because I love knowing what goes on behind the scenes. And so I have two questions, actually. My first one is, when your coaching staff finally decided, to follow you, everything was set, and you have your first coaches meeting, whether it be virtual or however you did it. I know that you had some kind of board or some writings of the top things that needed to happen and needed to get done. Can you share that with us? What was on that board?
Well, first of all, we just, I didn't do this with just Vic Schaefer in mind. You have to understand that. I did. We're a family. My staff and I. I probably know more what they do than they want me to know. I'd wish they'd go on vacation with me. I love them that much, but they don't want to go on vacation with me. But we're just so close, and so this is a big decision. I mean, you got the third-ranked team in the country coming back. We don't have a senior on the team. I mean, there's so many things that go into a decision like this. And so for me, this was a family decision. And so we talk about a number of things, but I think that the thing you come away with is, everybody's like, heck yeah. And again, I've said this before, and it was said to me, you can win a national championship at the University of Texas. And that's who we are. That's what we're made of. That's how we're built. And so you start thinking about the ultimate goal and knowing that in recruiting, so many doors will be open for, and so it just is it's long before you've taken the job and you have that first meeting, if it makes sense. I mean, we met, I met with them during that weekend and we talked extensively. I talked to them while I was on my visit. And then after taking the job, I'm like, you guys, you have got to get there. You're excited and you get excited listening to me talk about it, but you need to walk in that building. You need to walk on that campus. You need to talk to those administrators, and you'll get it. You'll get why I'm giddy. You'll get why I'm excited about what we're fixing to embark on and what we're fixing to do. And so that was how our conversations went from that weekend that was such a quick whirlwind to taking the job to, okay, we need to get there. Y'all need to get there. I want you to experience it to, okay, recruiting. I mean, that's where your mind goes. Coach will tell you, I mean, from that point, you go to your current team, what you've inherited, to recruiting, and all that. I mean, it's you're rolling. Your mind's going, and you go to bed at night and your mind's going. You wake up and your mind's still going, and so that first week is all about all of what I just said. And you got paperwork, and they got paperwork, and we got to get them. And I mean, it's a heck of a week, really. Your head's spinning, but I got the group that can do it. And, we did it, within 2 weeks, recruiting was popping. We had some good things happening, and both for this year's team and teams in the future. So that's kind of, Andrea, kind of what that looked like. It wasn't about one first thing. There was a lot of things that were happening.
Yeah. Well, my next question has to do with the Texas players, whether it's the ones that are returning or players coming in. I know there's been a lot of live streams with Celeste and with Charlie, especially, and so we've heard from them a little bit. But how do you, as a coaching staff, keep in touch and build cohesiveness and build team and an idea and identity and an identity virtually like this? Can you just tell us some of the things that you and your coaching staff are doing with the players?
So each of my staff is a position coach as well. And so they've been given their players that they need to keep in touch with. We also are a little different in that we don't just trust or just allow one person in academics to have our whole team. We have that, but we also, each one of my coaches is assigned 3 or 4 players that they're also their academic coaches. And so they're kind of the double checkers, if you will. And so we've tried to keep up that way. I've tried to do my part, reach out as the head coach and stay in touch and talk to each one of these young ladies about how excited we are and what I know about them telling me about themselves a little bit, their families, meeting with their families, talking with their families, and just trying to get to know them. And then at the same time, it's recruiting, and we're out there chasing the next class and also trying to enhance this class, this team. I mean, I got no desire to be good, y'all. I mean, I want to be great. When we want to win championships, and that's the thing that you get when you talk to Celeste and Charlie. They got no desire to be good. They want to win, and I owe it to them to help them try to win now. And so we're really working hard together on that piece. So, it's with, you have these FaceTime calls you can make now, and Zoom calls and things like that. Hey, it's opened up a whole new world to me. Trust me, I'm not the most technical guy in the world. And so, but I've learned and, found out today, you can actually have, we can actually now have some Zoom calls and some FaceTime calls with our team as well as recruits together. And what a great selling point to have current student athletes that can actually be on calls with recruits. So that's our next challenge. Now, the problem at Texas is that they're still in finals. Until they're officially out of finals, I can't use them. Well, there's other people across the country that have been out of finals, or they're out of finals, or they're going to be out of finals a whole lot sooner than we are. So they're going to get the jump on us a little bit. So we'll have to make up some lost time there. But, it's a challenge for sure. Celeste called me, must have been 2 or 3 days ago, and I was on the tractor, bush hogging. She says, "Coach, what are you doing?" So I took a selfie of me on the tractor. I said, "I'm on the tractor bush hog." She goes, "What?" So I took a picture and sent it. She goes, "Coach, you're really on the tractor." I am. I'm in the back 40.
I'm not sure how you're going to do here in Austin. I mean, your wife is looking for a home here still. Has she found one? And is she looking out in the country where you can have some things to do, like go fishing and bush hog and things like that?
So when I get there, I probably won't have a whole lot of time to do those things, but she is looking for a house, and it's been a challenge, and we're hoping to get back there maybe the latter part of this week, and be the third time she's been there. But it's I think my staff now, from what I understand, and even my own daughter, I think everybody's pretty much found a place. One of your group in this group, I think, reached out to Johnny and had a beautiful place on Town Lake there. And I think Johnny's excited about that. And I told her, I said, well, I'm not very happy with you. You find a place on the lake, and here I am. I can't find a place anywhere. But she's really excited about that, and we're certainly appreciative for those folks reaching out to her and offering that to her. So we'll find a place. The good thing is that we're not, it's not like I have to be there yesterday. I can't be on campus. Campus is closed. What we're doing with our student athletes every day can be done from here. And so that's kind of where we are right now.
Great. Well, I'm going to give you one last question here. I've kept y'all for about 45 minutes now, and I'll let you get back to the barn. But here's our last question. There's other questions, and I'm sorry for all of those of you that have put questions on Facebook or comments, but there's been a lot of them. But this is probably the most important one to everybody. So here you go, Coach.
Well, here's the thing you got to know. We had to deal with another team in this league where I'm coming from. And, they're not going anywhere. And neither are they. It's our job to catch up and be competitive and win those games, just like everybody in that league. Here's what you don't want to do. You better not get focused on just one team, because there's 9 others or 8 others in that league that'll get you. It's a league full of great coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, great players. All I did was jumped out of the frying pan and into the grease, coming from the SEC to the Big 12. And so you have to, certainly we understand if you're going to win a championship, is probably going to go through there right now. And that's okay. It's going to go through everybody, though, in the league. That's what you don't want to lose sight of. In my mind, you have 20 rival games in the Big 12, or 18. You got 10 teams. You're going to play everybody twice. So you're going to have 18 rival games in that league, or 20, whatever that number is. They're all important. Here's what you got to know if you're at the University of Texas. They're all coming for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to do with what Coach built and the tradition that she created back in those days to now. People haven't forgotten. And so they're coming for the name on the front of your jersey, and you better wear that. And that's our job. We've got to create an environment. We've got to create a team that understands that welcomes it, and understands what's coming. And then it's our job to get them ready to go compete in that environment. I can't help that, and I'm certainly not mad at Coach for creating that. That's why I'm there, to be honest with you. I want to be somewhere where it's important. I mean, how lucky can you be in any industry where you're someplace where it's important? Women's basketball is really important at the University of Texas. And so how lucky am I to be at a place like that, to have the support that we have, and that's where I want to be. So, our job is to make that happen. And, again, a lot of respect for everyone in that league. Our job is to go be competitive and go win championships in that league.
Well, I think Lynn says it well. Welcome aboard, Coach, and we're super excited to have you here. And I know I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate Coach Conrad making time for this as well. And Tony and Jane, hopefully we'll see you soon. And we really look forward to having the opportunity, and I know the ambassadors do, to just being able to spend more time and get to know people and be able to see each other in person, hopefully soon.
Well, thank y'all for having me. It's always great to see Coach. She brightens my day. I'm so excited I'll get to see her, more often. And again, Andrea, I just appreciate you having me. Yeah. Tony and Jane, I promise you're going to be proud of what we're doing. You're going to be proud of our kids, and as this entire group will be, and really Longhorn Nation. And just excited about this. And so just hang in there with us. We got some work to do, but we'll get it done for you. I promise. Okay.
We know. Yes.
All right. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em.